everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to Born Again to Live in the Old Days.
I mean, we're in season 2, Eric.
Season 2.
We are caterpillars, we are butterflies. It all just depends on where you're at with your walk with the Lord. And you know what? Wherever you are on that path, we are just here to come alongside you and to just share some of our wisdom and knowledge. Not that it's ours, but it's what God's been showing us. And we're just here to have a conversation. So jump on in, you guys.
So this is episode 139.
Shut the front door.
Of season 2.
Wow, Eric, that's...
And season 1, we had 244, but technically those last like 6 are lost episodes that we will never find.
Right.
It's still somewhere around...
Doing the math here. 385? Wow.
We're getting ready. 400.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little wild.
Remember we were so excited for like episode 99 and here we are.
40. We celebrated 40 like it was never going
to... we celebrated 40 like it was the big America 250. And man, and then we got excited about 99 and 100. And after that, it was like just another day.
Yes. I love that we celebrated 90. I think
Me too.
Like, most people would think you're weird to celebrate 99, but yeah, we are those, that we're the one.
Yeah, for sure. The one.
Again, that's what God's been focused on. I talked about it even a crossover the last time. I mean, I shared the platform with kids, but I was talking about just, man, He will find you. He will seek you.
Yeah.
He will not leave you, and He won't forsake you. And I talked about it on one of my TikToks I did, but like, the cool thing God's been revealing to me is that His word says, I will never leave you, I'll never forsake you. Do you know if you don't believe in Him, He still means that.
Yeah.
You. So if you're one of those people who say, God doesn't exist, He's never going to leave you, He's never going to forsake you. So think what He'll do if you believe in Him.
Yeah.
Think about how much more you can get from this life if you give it all to Him and you just say, all right, God, you are who you say you are, and I believe every blessing in this book is going to come to me because of that.
Yes.
And I watched that movie was so good. Oh gosh, I think I was up till like 11:30 or so, which is late for me.
You did that on a guys' night one time, right?
Yeah, we went to a guys' trip. We watched it in theaters.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's such a good movie. If you want to watch a really good movie, it's a girls' movie, you can watch it too. But
yeah.
The Forge. It's one of the Kendrick brothers, the guys who do all the Christian movies, the Flyleaf, and I'm trying to think of
I'm taking your word for it.
Courageous, Facing the Giants. All of those movies were all done by the same group, and these guys do amazing, good Christian movies. But that Forge movie, like, it made me think so much that night. Like, I just laying there by myself, just watching this movie, and it's like, wow, we need more of that kind of lifestyle. We need more of that discipling attitude that they have in that movie, because it's just all about taking one person and picking them and taking them through how to become and be Christ-like, and then they pick somebody, and it's not, and at the end of the movie, he says that the forge does not need to be grown by addition, but by multiplication. And that's the way we need to disciple. We need to disciple by, I take one, Amy takes one, somebody else takes one, somebody else takes one. And when they're done with those, then everybody else takes one. So we're just multiplying so rapidly that we aren't one in a million. We are one of a million.
Yes.
And absolutely. I love when he's at the end of that movie, I'm just so moved by, why can't we do more of that? Why can't we be that? And again, God just keeps speaking to me about the lost ones, the ones that everybody's overlooking, or the ones that think they're so far away from me. And He says, just show them I'm here.
Yeah.
Because you were one.
Yeah.
You were that guy. And I remind myself all the time, like, I wasn't seeking God when I found God. So I got to remember to tell somebody about Him, because they might not be looking for it.
That's very true.
And I go back to the Forrest Gump quote, and it's the Lieutenant Dan when he goes, hey, Gump, have you found Christ yet? And he goes, I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for Him. Like, that's a lot of people when we walk around in this world, they don't understand that that's what they need. And it's our job to just show them that He's there. He'll do the rest. He'll multiply it. He'll do all this stuff. But got to do our part. And I don't know, he's really been speaking to me about those lost ones who think there's no way God will take me.
Yeah, I love that our God is such a he doesn't sit on this throne and just he doesn't treat you like one of the masses or like you said, one of the millions. Like he knows every one of us by name. Scripture says he knows the number of hairs on our head. Like that is how intimately he knows us. He created us. He knit us together in his mother's womb. And I know I've mentioned this before, but if you've ever knitted, like it's time consuming. Like it's a lot of things that go into knitting. It isn't just a snap of the finger, boom, like there is some craftsmanship that goes into us. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. And to think that this almighty God, the King of the universe, knows us. That's just mind-boggling, Eric. But that just also shows us how worthy we are to him, that everything that he does, that he'll never leave us, he'll never forsake us. He sent his son to die for us. As we just talked about the other day that with the Good Shepherd parable, like he chose to lay down his life for us because he loved us that much. He, it wasn't like it was a situation where he didn't have a choice. He did, and he chose to do it. And what a picture of love and grace. But yeah, that's what we're all about here.
Yeah.
Don't let the caterpillars on the on the episode scare you off. We are about caterpillars and new life and butterflies. And well, today we're also about Ruth, aren't we?
Yes. Side trail. I mean, like I said, God's really been speaking to me and talking to me about this and like keeping it right in my front of my mind all the time.
Yeah.
Don't let that one slip. Don't let that one not know I'm here. And I don't know if it's that born again life that I just keep getting reminded of what he's done for me. And,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like I'm so overjoyed every time I think about, I recap that night and I recap that whirlwind 3, 4, 5, 6 months that I went through the discipleship. And the more I learned, the more I grew, the more I was just wanting. And I'm like, discipleship's not hard. Why are we not taking the time to do it?
Yeah.
And so, anyways, back to Ruth, Eric's side bunny trail.
Well, I think it's a good introduction because, the book of it's very
redemptive.
It is, and it's about God seeing this one woman who, as we left off on Friday, she's bitter. All right, she's bitter. She's lost her husband. She's lost her sons. She lost one of her daughter-in-laws.
And she has no way to be made better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any better than what the situation is. She has no hope.
Yep.
She's like, I have no chance to ever do anything other than what I'm doing right now.
That's right. Yep. She is just coming home to a lonely, bitter life where she is going to need to rely on handouts and begging and just, she was not happy to come home. So, but God sees her just like he sees all of us, right?
Well, there's a Ruth chapter.
That's why there's a chapter 2. All right, where are we going?
Let's do 1 through 10, I think.
Okay.
10 seems like a round number.
All right. You're just picking that out of a hat. Let me make sure that's going to get us to, let's see.
Mine just wants to do the whole chapter at one time. There's no breaks. And
I know. It's kind of it's a good story. Well, I'll stop when I feel like I want to stop. How about
that? Works. Yeah.
Okay. So now we've got Naomi, who was once pleasant, but is now bitter. Now, Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man of standing from the clan of Elimelech, okay, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, let's go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor. Naomi said to her, go ahead, my daughter. So she went out, entered a field, and began to glean behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelech. All right, let's stop there.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's a lot to dig in here.
That works.
Okay.
So the first thing is what's gleaning. Like that's where my mind goes.
Yes.
And I think it's the coolest practice and something that I guarantee we don't plant like they did, but something that we don't practice anymore that we should. But the Mosaic law said that during the harvest, they should not cut the corners. Basically, they should leave the corners of the fields unharvested, and anything that falls, they should just leave it lay and not go back and pick it up after the first time they're going through the field.
Yeah.
And so then that would allow for the widows, orphans, and strangers, foreigners, to come into the field and get some for themselves, which, as Amy pointed out to me, that means they're not getting it of a handout. They still have to work, but they're getting help.
Yeah. Yeah, it's God's abundance. In a way, it feels like a tithe, right? We're giving this 10% to the Lord, and, you know, God is very precise about, like, he wants us to feed the poor. He wants us to care for the widows and orphans, you know, and so this is one way that he's, you know, like you said, the Mosaic law, this is one way that hey, we're going to put this practice into place because this is how you're going to do that for them. And it's allowing them to be able to come and pick the grains, you know, because I think a lot of times this is the wheat that we're talking about. It's not tomatoes or carrots or whatever. Like this is the grain, and I picture those oxes kind of pulling that big threshing thing. I guess. I mean, it's still
doing it by hand with us
or something like that.
Knife.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just don't go all the way to the corner. Just kind of make a little turn and leave some there. And of course, you're never going to pick it all up on the first swipe, but that's the point, right? And it is God's provision for people in need and people that would have maybe no other way for feeding themselves.
Now, you did read 3, correct?
I read through. What did I read through? Yeah, I read 3.
Okay, so in 3 there, it talks about she happened to come to the part of the field that belonged to Boaz. 2 things out of that: happened shows God's providence. Like, it just so happened to be that God put her in that spot. Like,
yeah,
you know, that was God's guidance. God's provision for her was that she got to that. And when it says the part of the field that belonged to Boaz, they the notes that I've read and did a little bit of research on this was that maybe it was like a community field. Like the whole town would go out and plant a giant plot of land, and each person had so much of the field.
Yeah.
And so this was Boaz's section of that field, and she just was in that section and happened to be by God's provision. That's where she landed, not over in whoever else's section, you know?
That's right.
Kind of cool. And it talked at the end of the last chapter that they got to there about the barley harvest. And they said in that place and time, that would have been about April.
Okay. So they left their home because of famine, seeking food elsewhere. They realized that God was, in fact, providing food where they came from. So they went back there. So they're going everywhere looking for food. Yeah. And here it is right in front of them, right? Okay. So dun, 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 dun. Here comes Boaz. So yes, they are working in the field belonging to Boaz. Again, he was related to her dead husband, right? Elimelech. That is a mouthful, Eric. Elimelech. Okay. Just then, and we're starting in Ruth 2, this picks up in verse 4. Just then Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you." "The Lord bless you," they answered. Boaz asked the overseer of his harvesters, "Who does that young woman belong to?" The overseer replied, "She is the Moabite who came back from Moab with Naomi." She said, "Please let me glean and gather among the sheaves behind the harvesters." She came into the field and has remained here from morning till now, except for a short rest in the shelter. So Boaz said to Ruth, "My daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field, and don't go away from here. Stay here with the woman who worked for me. Watch the field where the men are harvesting and follow along after the women. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you, and whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the men have filled." At this, she bowed down and with her face to the ground, she asked him, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me a foreigner?" Boaz replied, I have been told about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, how you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with a people you did not know. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Let's stop there.
All right. So we get a little glimpse as to Boaz's character.
Oh, for sure.
He arrives on the scene and immediately says, the Lord be with you to his workers.
Yeah.
That's who he believes in.
Yes.
And then he exhibits every property of the Mosaic law of taking care of the orphans, widows, and foreigners.
Yes.
Because he says, all right, don't go anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You stay in my field, you'll be safe, basically. He's providing protection.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, take all the water you want. I've provided, make sure nobody's going to hurt you. Nobody's going to touch you. You can have anything you want, but you got to work for it too. He's not just handing her over everything.
Yeah.
But it shows his character so much in that he is a God-fearing, God-loving man.
Yes.
That he comes onto the scene and immediately goes into this. Now, one of the cool things that I've in the research on this section and the whole thing was that Boaz would have been Naomi's age.
Yeah.
Naomi was like 50-ish, and Ruth was probably early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he calls her daughter, it's not just a word or anything. He's actually seeing her as that age.
Yeah.
So he had no presumption, like, oh, I'm going to make this my wife.
Right.
Because she wasn't of that, he wasn't the right age. And that's why he said, I've told the men not to touch you, or the young men not to touch you.
Yes.
Because he was protecting her, because he knew she had to be redeemed through Naomi, and it was a whole process. So realistically, Boaz would have been redeeming Naomi and not Ruth, but she was in home and while Ruth got sent out. But when he greets her as daughter, he's not just saying that to be, kind of like whatever, or, your little girl or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a sign of like what he thinks of.
Right. Right.
So it's important because it sets up later stuff in the way he handles himself.
Absolutely. Well, and there's also this character that we're learning about Ruth as well. Like, so not only is she, so her name means friendly?
Yes.
Okay. So
friendship.
Friendship. So yeah, not only is she saying, I'm not going to desert you, Naomi, but then, she was the one that took the initiative and said, let me kind of curry favor with these people. And, maybe by that is a little smile, a little batting of the eyelashes. I don't know. I'm not sure what her techniques were, but so she goes out into the field, she finds favor with them. And, when Boaz is asking about her, the overseer says that she came into the field and has remained here from morning until now, except for a short rest in the shelter. Like, this woman is working her tail off.
Yep. She's putting in the work.
She is really putting in the work. And that just shows the character of her. So when she says, Naomi, I'm not going to leave you and I'm going to be here. I'm going to support you. I'm going to love you. Like, here she is demonstrating that in a very real way. And, as we kind of even started our podcast today, Eric, about discipling and everything, it isn't about just whacking someone upside the head with the Bible and be like, you need to know what Jesus says. It is about demonstrating through love, through sweat, through toil, through hard work, that, God does see you as a very individualized person. You are that lost sheep, but you matter to him and you matter to me. And so when you kind of conduct yourself in that way, and so here's Ruth, just she is putting her money where her mouth is, kind of thing. I'm here for you, and I'm out the field busting my tail for you. So I love that.
It's two of them living in this house. I mean, they're living together, Ruth and Naomi, and Naomi's not out in the field. So Ruth's saying, I'm going to cover this. Yeah. I got this. Whereas in every other situation, Naomi should have been out there too. I think everybody would probably be like, hey, you want to eat, you come get some for yourself. But no, it was, you stay here. I'm going to go do what I came here to do. Yeah. Which was take care of you. I'm here for you, not for me, not looking. And she didn't go out saying, I'm looking for a husband. I'm going out to glean the field. I'm going to go out and get what we need to make bread at the house because that's my job.
Right.
And so, the character of these two people is being revealed slowly, and actually not really slowly. I mean, it's like thrust upon you. It's like the dude's first words are "Lord be with you" to his.
Yeah.
It's like,
absolutely. All right, so we're gonna pick up at 10, I think. So, okay, so he once again just said, to Ruth, like, my daughter, right? Like, I'm gonna keep you protected. You just follow after the harvesters. You'll get all the stuff you need. Then you need some water. So when we pick up in verse 10, it says, "At this, Ruth bowed down with her face to the ground. She asked him, being Boaz, 'Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me, a foreigner?' Boaz replied, 'I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, how you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with a people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge.' 'May I continue to find favor in your eyes, my lord,' she said. 'You have put me at ease by speaking kindly to your servant, though I do not have the standing of one of your servants.' At mealtime, Boaz said to her, 'Come over here, have some bread and dip it in the wine vinegar.' When she sat down with the harvesters, he offered her some roasted grain. She ate all she wanted and had some left over. As she got up to glean, Boaz gave orders to his men. 'Let her gather among the sheaves and don't reprimand her. Even pull out some stalks for her from the bundles and leave them for her to pick up, and don't rebuke her.'" Should I keep going?
Yeah, let's go through 18 at least.
18, okay. "So Ruth gleaned in the field until evening. Then she threshed the barley she had gathered, and it amounted to about an ephah. She carried it back to town, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also brought out and gave her what she had left over after she had eaten enough." Okay.
So a couple things, I guess, from that is, again, he invited her over. She's not one of not one of his servants. She's just a foreigner. He invites her in for dinner, helps her, gives her food, gives her the best of the food, actually, giving her, not just the leftovers, giving her the best of it, and then she takes the leftovers. So, again, the character of two people just continue to be sewn out, but an ephod or whatever is 30 or 40 pounds of grain, so half a bushel or so is what they say.
It's a lot.
That's a lot, but it's cool that Boaz even tells his workers, like, "Hey, leave a little extra laying.
Yes, I love that.
Or let a couple pieces fall, and don't rebuke her for that. Or if she happens to dig into the pile, don't rebuke her. Don't stop her from taking what she wants."
Yeah.
I think that's so cool that he's upholding the Mosaic law better than anybody else ever did, I believe. Like, the Pharisees wouldn't have done that. Like, those same people wouldn't have done that. But he did. His character was that I'm going to take care of this person, even though I don't have to.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, she's working hard for it. I'm gonna let her continue to kind of, work for it, because there is dignity in what she's doing for her mother-in-law. And so he was trying to make it a little easy for her, like, pull out some good stocks, let her have those. But, like, he didn't just want to I don't know, he didn't want her to think that her work and her, like, it's the way she served her mother-in-law, right? And he didn't want to take that away from her.
Yeah, he didn't want to give it to her and say, you don't have to do anything for her.
Yeah.
You want to do it, I'm going to make it a little easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so sweet.
And I think the point of letting her take the extra food, and that's the first thing. Like, Naomi comes out, she shows her the grain and then gives her the food that I brought back.
Not for
herself, it's good for her.
A little doggy bag. I love it.
I mean, I don't know. This is a great book, and we should all act like, probably.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Read to the end of the chapter.
Yeah, let's go to the end. Okay, so starting in 19.
Yeah.
Her mother-in-law asked her, "Where did you glean today? Where did you work? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." Then Ruth told her mother-in-law about the one at whose place she had been working. "The name of the man I work with today is Boaz," she said. "The Lord bless him," Naomi said to her daughter-in-law. "He has not stopped showing his kindness to the living and the dead," she added. "That man is our close relative. He is one of our guardian redeemers." Then Ruth the Moabite said, "He even said to me, 'Stay with my workers until they finish harvesting all my grain.'" Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It will be good for you, my daughter, to go with the women who work for him, because in someone else's field you might be harmed." So Ruth stayed close to the women of Boaz to glean until the barley and wheat harvests were finished, and she lived with her mother-in-law.
So I forgot to tell you when we got into Boaz that his name means "in him is strength."
Ooh.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
That's better than sick.
Definitely. Yeah.
And the cool thing I think about this little section, again, I told you that the barley harvest started in April.
Yes.
The wheat was harvested in late June.
Okay.
So she was with him that long, gleaning in only his fields.
Wow.
That's provision. That's taking care of somebody.
Yes.
Think about it. She took like 30 or 40 pounds in one day. What she took over 3 months or whatever, out of every field and all the time. And yeah, to me, that's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. I was just kind of looking up, like, so the guardian redeemer or the kinsman redeemer, which this story really goes deeply into. I think it's mentioned a few other places in the Bible, but I think this is the one that really, I think, shows that. What I found is, I'm just kind of looking at the definition of that. It is a family relative responsible for rescuing, buying back property, or restoring a destitute family member, right? So it is, it is when you are a widowed woman with no way of making a living, no one to protect you, no one to just help you out. It is going to be that. Like, I think about another great Bible heroine would be Esther, right?
Oh yeah.
She lived with her uncle, and so these are the people that come after the widows and orphans, and they take care of them. And so Boaz was definitely doing that for this foreign woman, which I think at the time, like, he didn't really realize what he was doing for Naomi as well as for Ruth. You know what I mean? Like, he stepped into that role right away. And I love what it says at the end, like, he is honoring the living and the dead, meaning, the sons of Ruth.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the sons of Naomi. So.
Yeah. It's a great story. And the way Boaz carries himself and doesn't force himself on her or try to do anything other than just provide a way for her to provide for her mother-in-law. Like,
yes,
that is the coolest part about this guy, and that's who you should look to be. So, all right, we're going to wrap up, and we'll be back tomorrow with Chapter 3.
Chapter 3, let's go.
All right, see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.